as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife. And I can feel the sun on my skin, beginning to thaw from within. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today is a good day to live. This morning has a clearer light as any to see the horizon and the far. Excuses were two for a penny, but they've all gone out the window of this car. And when I feel the wind on my face, all that ever was is a wreck. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Let me check my mic here. Yeah, looks good. Looks good. I think my volume level might be a little bit low compared to the audio music in the opening. We'll have to look at that and adjust that. Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How's it going? Mayon buntag, mayon aga, magandang umaga. This freaking language here, man. Yes. Yes. How's it going, everybody? What's everybody up to? I assume I got myself unmuted. Yeah, that looks all good. Sorry, just kind of checking systems here. Still getting used to this software, but digging it. I'm actually digging it. I like, there's some cool things about it. The comments are a little bit whatever, but anyways, what's everybody up to? I got some quick stuff I want to just kind of say really quick. Yes. So some quick updates. Man, lots of riding on the Sherpa. Lots of riding on the Sherpa. Sherpa's been so good. Absolutely dig that bike, guys. Really, really, really good. You know, I've done a bunch of updates to it. Let's see if I got a picture of that. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's a recent shot there. Got the tail tidy installed on there. All the tires are here, or the tires, yeah, of course I got those installed a while ago, the Bridgestone Battle Axe AX41s. Man, those are super good tires. Well, I don't know if you can hear that, but I think I got some construction going on outside, but there you go. Gotta love the Philippines, man. 7 in the morning and they're out throwing construction around. But it is an active kind of construction site in a lot of ways. Anyways, squirrel. You know, one of the things that I thought about, right, my first impressions on this Sherpa was like I was gonna have to replace the seat. Man, like, I think that seat on this is actually pretty good. I've been now in the saddle. I've like had multiple all day in the saddle, and it's been good, man. It's been fine. I haven't had any issues at all with that. So really liking the tires, really liking the bike. You know, as far as future mods with the bike, I was kind of considering updating the suspension on it, but right now I haven't hit kind of the limits of it, which I probably wouldn't going 10 miles an hour, right? But yeah, man, it's been really surprisingly a good bike, and out of the box, it's been nice. So yeah, super stoked about that, excited about that. But yeah, let's see what else do I got going on here. What else is in my notes? Where'd my notes go? Oh yeah, they're there. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, one of the other things too that I just wanted to, that was here in my notes that I wanted to mention that I did talk about in the last video was the engine braking. Man, that is a shock to me. How you know, I've had a couple of steep descents on that bike, and the engine braking, just letting off the gas, first gear, letting it roll. I mean, it's really solid on that, which is really cool for going down some steep stuff. And tractoring up has been great too. So really, really stoked about that bike. Another cool announcement that I have that I want to make is I'm super stoked about this is I might have an exhaust system coming. I've reached out to a company called Black Widow Exhaust, and I'm going to bring up their website here now. Let's see here. Yeah, so I reached out to these guys, Black Widow Exhaust, and super stoked about what can happen here potentially. It's in the works, but I think it's going to happen. I've got a full exhaust system coming. Yeah, full exhaust system on the way. Yeah, so we'll see. So what this opens up though with this full exhaust is probably an ECU flash now I'll need to do to not only remove the check engine light, but really allow for the exhaust to kind of perform. There's going to be a lot more air coming out the back. So now I need to allow for that in the ECU. So there's a lot that'll probably come around that, probably get an air box. So I'm looking at a whole stage 1 upgrade, but that is going to be a big jump, especially too, considering that I was almost thinking about selling the dang bike. I just, you know, it's not bad and it's fine for the Philippines. You know, someone pointed out, I think here earlier about the ADV 160, and that is just a really good bike. But, you know, the NX 500 just, it's boring, right? It's boring, but boring when you're over the age of 50 is sometimes that's a good thing. You know, you don't necessarily need a bike that's going to, you know, put you in the hospital. But anyways, man, so I'm super stoked about upgrading the bike. I'm really excited about that. And we'll see how that all plays out. But there could be some new content with the NX 500 and upgrading that suspension, getting that all dialed in, potentially, like I said, with an ECU, new air intake, and all of that. So super stoked. Now I'm in the process of researching getting that done. There's some companies in the US. I think one of them was 550 US or 550 Performance or something like that. I also reached out to them to see if they'd be willing to do anything. But yeah, man, I'm excited. There might be some companies up in Manila that do ECU flashes. There's also DynoJet, which I could potentially get and do my own ECU flash. But yeah, so really super stoked about getting set up with the NX500 and riding that again. And you know, it is a good bike for the Philippines if you're doing some serious touring. So kind of our bike layout is we have the ADV, we have the KLX 230 Sherpa, and the NX500, right? So I think all three of these, the guy's like right outside my window putting up roofing. I gotta love this country. Um, so yeah, so there's three bikes that we have, and they all kind of really have a good purpose. Like for everyday use, just getting around doing shit. The ADV 160 is freaking right on, man. Right on, man. It is just so good for that. We've got about 16,000 kilometers on that bike, man. So we ride it pretty much every day, everywhere, just putter around town. And the KLX 230 Sherpa that I just bought, that is nice for just some of these trails, these mountain roads, things like that, these really remote areas that are here, right? So that's the KLX 230 Sherpa. The NX500 is good for just all around touring. So if you wanted to island hop, you wanted to kind of hop on your bike and ride for a week, which we can do, we're retired, right? If that's the kind of where that bike is good for. So really stoked about the three bikes. Really do enjoy the three bikes and their different use cases, but they're definitely different use cases. I would say this too. I'm just kind of move things around a little bit. If I had to pick one bike, it might be the ADV. Thankfully, I'm in a situation where I don't need to, but if I had to just pick one bike, it might be that ADV because you could really do a lot of it, right? You could tour on it. You could outfit it with a top box and bags and crap, and you've got all kinds of storage. You could do mild trails and off-road with it. It doesn't really, I mean, like mild, right? No single track, none of that, and any kind of bumpy even in bumpy and pavement, it struggles. But you could do it. And then just the everyday around town and doing stuff, it's really good. But yeah, so that's kind of the bikes, and that's the KLX and the NX, what we've got going on. Let's check on my notes here too. The last thing I kind of wanted to bring up, and my buddy of mine stopped by yesterday and mentioned this, and this is kind of how I found out, but I just wanted to give a kind of, you know, I hope Mike and Janet are good, right? Like I've kind of disconnected with them a couple years ago. Well, back when Joe and I broke up, honestly, there was some drama kind of around that whole situation, regardless. But you know, I got word of their divorce, and you know, I really did admire both of them and kind of what they got going on, and so I wish them the best, right? Like, gosh, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but my divorce was probably one of the hardest moments, if not the hardest moment in my life, and just the whole identity shift, and I mean, assets and selling my house, and oh my gosh, so. You know, and it sounds like that was a while ago, but they just kind of announced it. But I wish them the best in that process and kind of going through that's just as most of us probably know here, can be a rough go. So anyways, man, I think that's all of my notes. Let me get back to that. Well, I think the last thing that kind of was there around that is, you know, is YouTube worth it? You know, if you're coming here to kind of look to start up your own channel, if you're looking to come here to kind of do something around that, you want to think twice about it. I mean, you really do. And if you think you're going to make any money at it, you'll make more money flipping burgers in McDonald's than you will making a YouTube channel. I mean, you don't really, I mean, even the most successful YouTubers here, they don't make jack squat, man. They really don't make, I mean, I'm talking money, right? 6 figures, people really aren't making that kind of money here in YouTube. And you don't believe me, you could look for yourself, right? You can put an ad on, let's see here. let's go to, you could put an ad on your browser, on your YouTube, and you could see the vidIQ. It basically, it shows you what the estimated earnings are, right? So if you look at, let's just pull, we're talking about Mike. Let's pull up Mike. Mike's Philippines retirement. Yeah, so he just did his divorce announcement there. So estimated monthly earnings, $500 a month. And in this guy, I mean, dude, he's hustling, right? He is hustling. He's got videos, like 2 or 3 videos a week. And I mean, that's work, man, for peanuts. For peanuts. I mean, $400 a month. I mean, come on, man. You know, I mean, you could make more flipping burgers at McDonald's. I mean, crap, you make that in a week flipping burgers at McDonald's, right? I mean, it's just, there's just not a lot of money. What's that Canadian guy who's got a big channel? That Philippines Life, right? That Philippines. Let's look up his channel. He's probably, yeah, that Philippines Life. Yeah, right? 114,000 subscribers. Yeah, so he's making some money, right? One of the top vloggers is making $3,000 a month or $36,000 a year. He's almost the flipping burger level in McDonald's, maybe a little bit more. I don't know what you can make it flipping burgers in McDonald's, but it ain't much more than 36K, you know? I mean, so think about it. Before you come out here and decide to do a YouTube channel, think about, you know, your reasons. For me, I relate it to, it's a hobby, right? It's like skiing, it's like motorcycling, it's like all of that stuff. You know, I don't strap on a pair of skis and expect to get paid. Very few people, like in YouTube, very few people actually do that, right? I don't expect to hop on a motorcycle and expect to get paid, right? Same thing with YouTube. You gotta come here with that if you're looking to do YouTube. And I think everyone should do YouTube, right? I think it's fun. It's a great, you learn so much about yourself doing a channel. You really do. You learn the crap that comes out of your mouth because you're recording it. You learn a crap ton about yourself. And then you can make good friends, you can make acquaintances, all that stuff, right? But you know, I think people have this fantasy about YouTubers, and another fantasy that I think people have is like fame and recognition. And dude, you don't get any of that crap, man. You don't get any of that crap. You know, I can walk around here and people don't recognize me. People don't recognize anybody. The people who watch YouTube, at least this genre, they're in the United States, you know, so it doesn't give you anything more fame or recognition walking around the damn neighborhood. You know, you'll get treated at an elevated level just because of who you are and what's you got going on. And nothing to do with YouTube, right? I mean, people walk out and they're like, oh, there's Bruce Willis, you know, that kind of deal, but it ain't nothing to do with my channel. So just to kind of put that out there as a cautionary thing, and holy crap, this guy's just like right outside my window doing construction. Anyways, just as a heads up on that, be careful in YouTube, and especially if you're going to put your significant other out there. You know, David Bond kind of early on talked to me about that. He and we hung out a little bit in Cebu, right? Like, look, I'm not creating a harem and crap like that, but I found the guy interesting, especially as a guy who I was at the time just starting YouTube, and I was very in this fantasy about YouTube. And anyways, one of the many things that I learned from him was about putting your significant other on the other channel. And look, I don't know what happened with my channel. Like I said, I didn't talk to either one of them in a couple of years, but YouTube can throw a wrench in relationships. Absolutely. I mean, just look throughout these channels and you can see that stuff. So anyways, man, that is definitely enough preamble for the beginning, but I do wish both of them the absolute best, and I hope they're doing good. So with that said, holy preamble, I apologize, but as you know, and that's kind of what my lives are about, right? I like to kind of, and watch my mic not even be on. I like to kind of go in and just kind of talk about things and kind of run through and deep dive into conversations, bikes, life in the Philippines, whatever, right? Like I'm definitely an open book in a lot of ways. So that's kind of the live streams if you're here. The other thing that's probably a little bit different with me is the fact that um, I use OBS for my stream software. I don't use StreamYard like most guys in this genre do, just simply because you have to pay for it and it's expensive. And for me, this is a free software, and I can push 1080p. So my drone stuff and my beginning and my intros and stuff, that's all 1080p, and it's not squashed down to like 720 or something. So there are some negatives with comments and things like that I can't kind of get into or navigate so well like StreamYard does, but it's free, and to me the video quality is more important. So I just kind of go through and I'll read through. If I do, the scroll's very much a pain in the ass on this. When I scroll, sometimes it jumps down to the bottom. So if I do miss your comment and something you want me to say, just apologize, but repin it. I think I do have a 20 or something. There's a timeout in between your responses, and that just keeps people from typing one word at a time and spamming the channel like an idiot. So anyways, there's some things about that. That's kind of my live streams, but let's get to it. Odo says, yes, almost the first. There was a guy that was before you, but I don't show that comment anymore, but almost the first Odo. Yes, Mindanao manga from sunny, dry, hot Balayan. Yeah, nice, man. Nice. Yeah, I hope all is well up there. Michael KTM, Odo, you're trying to steal my thunder. Let me get some more coffee, guys. My throat is already a little dry. Wonder why. Yeah, Steve says, good morning from New Hampshire. Nice, brother. Good writing state in the summer. Yeah, live free or die. Yeah, peace, brother. Yeah, man, I kind of been through New Hampshire as a kid. I haven't been in my adult years for sure, and I definitely didn't ride through there. But I would be down for riding through New Hampshire. That'd be gorgeous, brother. Yeah. I do like the riding out here. It is a very different riding dynamic. It's a lot slower speeds, and like, especially here in this particular region. You know what? Let's go ahead and pull up the map, and we get to kind of talk about that a little bit. It is a very different riding dynamic here in the Philippines, and yeah, 1 second here. Yeah, very different riding dynamic in the Philippines. I'll pull up my map and kind of show you. There's one area of the country that you have some interstates, right? And that's Luzon, and that's the Manila area where you can ride up to speed and you get up to speed like that. But the rest of the country, 80-90% of the country, you really don't have any type of interstates at all. Maybe in Davao you've got a little bit of that, but I don't think they have speed requirements. So the riding speed is a lot slower. And I think that was one of that gets people, and it gets me too. Like, it was kind of a little bit of a shock. And yeah, these guys are right outside banging on my door. They're banging on the roof. It's a little bit distracting. But yeah, so the riding speeds are a little bit different, and so that's why scooters are so practical, and they work well, right? You can kind of get on a scooter and go. You're not really going whatever 30-40 kilometers per hour most of the time. So but there are regions and stuff that big bikes have a place. But yeah, definitely a different riding style here. I'd love to get up to I'd love to ride New Hampshire, actually. That does sound gorgeous up there, Steve. Yeah, good for you, brother. Dean Perry, love the Philippines, can't wait to get back. Yeah, man. Yeah, I hear you, man. I was talking with somebody about this. Yeah, a gentleman that came to visit at Butuan. Oh, you can't hear the construction? Yeah, cool, man. It's just banging loud in my ears. And with my OCD, it's a little bit distracting. But thank you for letting me know you can't hear it. But anyways, yeah. Let's see here. But he was talking, oh yeah, moving back to the US. He was telling me about life in the US. I don't think I could do it, man. I don't think I could anymore after 4 years. I'm a lot more chill than I was in the US. It was funny because this guy, very high strung, fast speaker, like you've had 10 cups of coffee. And, it was almost a little bit unsettling because, I take on a little bit of emotions of people that are around. That's why it's kind of important for me to surround myself with good, happy people. Anyways, he was very high strung and it made me nervous, right? Is what I'm trying to say. And um, yeah, yeah, but I don't think I could live back in the US anymore. And I'm just so like, there's nothing on our calendar today, like nothing. You know, maybe go ride, maybe we'll do some stuff, maybe go to the you know, go pick up some fruit or whatever, maybe mow the grass, meet with the painters and talk with the painters about stuff. And but yeah, yeah, not much going on. But yeah, good for you, Dean, man. I hope you get back soon. Hey, Lowell, what's up, brother? Hope you're well up there. Hope all is well in Oregon. Yep, God bless as well. Hope you're good, man. Hope all is well. Duffler, Travis, evening all. Yes, good evening. GT Freak, where is this? So I assume you're talking about the intro and the drone footage. And that was right up my backyard, 10, 15 minutes away from my house, up one of the mountain ridges. Really nice, man. Really nice little area up in there. Some good trails. I take the Sherpa up there and go riding around. Really gorgeous. You know what? I think I can bring up the map. Let's see, yeah. So I got the map up. What's off of that? So yeah, there's this mountain range behind me. Let's go to terrain. Yeah, there's this mountain range behind me, and I think it was just right up in here is where that drone footage was at. So really, and that's kind of, you know, right in these middle of these rice fields, and boom, here's the mountains. All kinds of riding through here, guys. Here's the Butuan Mountains down in here. Just gorgeous. Yeah, right down in here in Malai. So I'm right at the base of these mountains. So that's kind of my backyard and all the riding that I get to do and why I chose to live kind of where I'm at, you know? So super stoked about being out here and down in this area and all the kind of off-riding. But yeah, that's where that footage is at. GTR is in the kind of in my back area, like 20 minutes away along this mountain ridge. I got up riding. So yeah, Michael, Chris, I've been looking at the NX500 since I met you. How is it practically in the Philippines in Luzon area? I'm still getting the ADV 160. Keep thinking about the ADV 350. Yeah, I hear you. Wow, a lot. NX500 is a great bike. Like I said, I think it's a good tourer. If you're looking for a lighter weight tourer, I think it is great at that. I really do. It's just a little bit boring, as everyone said. It's true. It's a little bit of a boring bike, but you know, as older guys, maybe boring isn't necessarily bad. Do we really want a bike that can do wheelies? I mean, maybe I kind of do, but but so the other thing about that whole thing, Michael, is you're limited. You're limited to what you can buy here. You don't have everything in Honda's lineup, Yamaha. You don't have Cove out here. You don't have a lot of bikes that you do in the North America or Europe or whatever, right? You just don't have those. Your options are not only that. What's up, Gary? Not only that is you're just service and maintenance and all of that. So there's just so many factors to think about when you're getting a bike, including the ADV 350, right? You know, the ADV 350, I don't think I could find anywhere in Butuan, nor can I get it serviced. So if you're just looking for a simple, easy bike, something that you don't have to wrench on, the ADV 160 is it, man. It really is. Right behind that would be the NX500, but I can't get that work done here, not in Butuan, and I'm in a city that's close to 500,000. So something to really consider and think about. You're right on, even, you know, so, but yeah, it's an okay bike. You know, maybe I would buy like my buddy's CF Moto 450 MT or I think you call it the Ibex 450 in North America. Maybe that would be a bike that I would maybe look towards if I was looking for more like a small M-size ADV. The Himalayan also 450 is right there. I don't really like the KTM 390 Adventure. I just don't like the engine, the high revving nature of that. And I don't know, I'm just not really, and I like KTM, right? I'm not bashing on KTM. My favorite bike to this day is my 790 Duke. I love the Duke, but anyways, so So yeah, I think the NX 500 might be one of your better options as far as a full-size motorcycle that's a tourer. But I think, doing some of the mods that I'm about ready to do might be in order to kind of make the bike where you're not bored by it. Uh, but yeah, good bike. It's okay. I'm just trying to think what else is in that lineup out here. Like we talked about the Royal Enfield, um, the 450 MT. But again, those are bikes that are very hard to find dealerships that'll work on them. Honda would be your little bit more available. But usually if you're going to have a Honda big bike shop, there also might be a CF Moto shop, and there also might be a KTM or Royal Enfield shop. So anyways, the long of that one, Michael. Heath, what's up, brother? What's up? What's going on from Tennessee, man? Hope you're good there. Full into spring. What's up, Jeff? Yes, IT guy talking about the microphones. Hope all is good up in the Great White North. Observer 9000, hello from Maine. Yeah, what's up, man? How's it going? Yeah, Michael says, yeah, or GTR says you can't go wrong with the ADV 160. I love that bike. Love it. 16,000 kilometers. The hell is that in miles? Oh, pull up my calculator. Ah, sweet. 16,000 kilometers. Oh, it's only about, oh, wait. Yeah, almost 10,000 miles. We have more miles on that bike than anything else. Yeah, we have more miles on the scooter. Of course, Mary Rose toured with it, right? She did a bunch of stuff. Well, she learned on it, so she rode everywhere and anywhere. But we also did all of Samar. We did a trip from let's pull up the map. We did yeah, she rode through all of Samar here. She did that whole loop on that, and then we rode from Butuan all the way to Bacolod, right? So we rode this whole northern section of Mindanao up the east coast, crossed over. So we've rode that bike a lot. It's a great bike. I love the ADV. Yeah, no, I'm with you, GTR. Good bike. My friend mentioned it seems like there are more Amazon products eligible for Philippines now. Okay. Yeah, so you can definitely get Amazon stuff, not everything, but you can get Amazon stuff. And I admittedly use Amazon quite a bit. Yeah, I couldn't get my tires from there. I can get my Tusk 3mm tubes from Amazon, but I can't get my tires. So that's one of the things you start to do here in this country is you start to think like a Filipino and navigate all the damn loopholes that you have to navigate to get crap done here, right? So, but yes, you can get Amazon. All my vitamins and stuff like that I get from Amazon, my creatine, some of my clothes. And that might be a pro tip too is, you can get clothes like shirts and stuff like this. I get at Uniqlo. I freaking dig that store. But some stuff like high quality, like my running shoes, I get that on Amazon. And then I just redo the order, right? So stuff like that. My Motul engine oil, although that's been a little bit hard to find. Like I can't get that. But yeah. And then it takes a while, right? Like it doesn't show up next day. Some stuff takes a month or so. So you always want to kind of be ahead of it. And that's another mindset shift that you want to have is if it's something you need or use on a regular basis, get like 2 or 3 of it, because sometimes you'll be out. Like our coffee, like we've been drinking this same hazelnut coffee now, and now it's not even in the store anymore, right? So we had to switch brands. So, if it's something you really want, get 3 or 4 of it, because you just never know. Morning, Richard. You never really know what's going on, man, right? All right, where the hell am I? Yeah, I think it was GTR. Yeah. Gary Penderson. I'm moving to the Philippines next year to live out the rest of my life. Any good advice? Wow, right? Like a lot to unpack there. But yeah, Gary, I mean, the biggest thing that you want to do is just, it's a mindset shift. Have a good plan in place, have a good financial plan in place, but get your head on, right? Like, this guy's over here with even myself, you know, deprogram, relax, rewind, have a good time. Um, you know, try to get out of the foreigner bubbles. You know, nothing wrong with that, but you know, if you really want to enjoy the Philippines, its nature, its beauty, its people, be around areas where there's not, where you look and you don't see a bunch of foreigners or any foreigners. You know, I go out in my area and I really don't see any foreigners. So, but yeah, you know, I think the main thing that I see with guys, including myself, is just the mindset, right? Just walk around with a smile on your face and remember you get what you give. I think that's the number one piece of advice I would give people is you get what you give. You know, so if you're a happy-go-lucky dude and you're just smiling and having a good time, you know, if you're here to take advantage of locals and you know, you're gonna get, you know, you're gonna have a rough go, right? So that would be the number one piece. Good for you, brother. Yeah, good for you. GTR. This is Danny, but oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, it doesn't show your name anymore. That yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I'll see if I can remember that, Danny. Yeah, Otto, Gary, learn the language and dialect in the area we'll move to. Absolutely. That's great advice, Otto. Or at least a couple of words. You know, I don't speak a lot. I maybe speak 20 words, and admittedly, I need to really kind of step that up and get my game going on with language. But if you could even speak just a couple of words, man, it just makes a big difference. I mean, it just shows that you respect the culture, you respect the people. It makes a big deal. Yeah. No, right on, Odo. Good advice. Danny, here in Cebu, people are getting impounded for having an aftermarket exhaust. Yes. Yeah, I believe the local, you can't be over 99 decibel is the deal. So you have to make sure that it's under 99 decibel on your exhaust system. So yeah. No, you're right on there. I think I've heard too that they're getting strict with that. Gary, I am buying a house in what's that, Purse Park? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yep. Yeah, good for you, dude. Yeah, good luck with that. I hope that works out. Spoke like a true American. What are we talking about? Probably something I said a while ago. Sorry, I get wrapped up. I deep dive and stuff. 1 second here. Okay. Nathan says, I have a question about how much are paper goods like paper towels, body wipes, toilet paper in the Philippines. You know what, brother? I don't do a lot of the grocery shopping to know. But a big adjustment that you'll have here, honestly, and that is a bidet. If you've never used a bidet before, as most Americans never have, like we don't buy toilet paper anymore. We just, you spray off, dude. And it's so much better. I mean, think about it, right? You know, you get a piece of poop on your hand or whatever, a bird flies over and, you know, craps on you, or you pick up dog poop or whatever, you wash your hands. You know what I mean? You don't take a tissue and smear it all over yourself. You wash your hand. And that's the same thing with, you know, that's a big adjustment. It's one of the bigger adjustments too, is you realize how disgusting we are as Americans, smearing poop all over ourselves. Get the freaking bidet, rinse yourself. Jeff knows. Jeff used to live in Tokyo, and one of the things, or Japan, right? One of the things after being in Japan, he said, is he remodeled his bathroom after coming back to Canada, and you know, it's a, so anyways, toilet paper, really, I haven't bought toilet paper since I moved here. But yeah, we buy hand wipes and crap like that because we'll carry hand wipes with us because a lot of restaurants don't have, they call them tissues. Napkins are feminine products. So if you tell a waitress, "Can I have a napkin?" they're gonna look at you like most of them are probably used to it by now, but napkins are actually feminine products. Tissues are what you use to wipe your hands and crap with. So, but yeah, so we don't really buy a lot of that stuff. We'll buy, like I said, hand wipes and crap like that, but I haven't bought toilet paper since I moved to the Philippines, right? It's kind of wild. All right. Yeah. Good morning, Troy and Venus. What's up? How's it going? Odo, 3K per month pays for a lot of bills here in the Philippines. Yeah, 3,000 US? Yeah, it does. Yeah, no, you can definitely have a good existence out here for 3,000 a month. Steve says, Chris, you're crushing it on YouTube Dream for a bunch of guys. Yeah, I don't know about that, but enjoying it. I am enjoying my time. You know, admittedly, since I got here in Butuan, it's been a lot more settled down kind of vibe right out here, not as much travel. A lot of stuff in the area, right? Like a lot more kind of trips, like I said, in the mountains in my backyard and stuff like that. But yeah, I've hit my stride a little more. Speaking of it, back into running and running a little bit more. But yeah, no, things are going well out here, man. I am. I'm enjoying it. Definitely in a different phase of my existence here in the Philippines, more into like the routine of it, you know? So yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, good for you, Steven. No, thank you though, Steve. Good, thanks. Appreciate it, man. Captain Ron, are you guys planning to move to the mountain and start a farm? You know, that might, so a lot of kind of what I've got going on here is a little bit of that. It's scoping out the country to find out where I kind of want to settle a little bit, but doing it slowly, like not a month here, a month there, and so on, but really kind of slow rolling it. You know, like a year here, a year there, and you know, we spent a year or so in Leyte. I spent a year or so in Cebu, and you know, I'll spend a year. I'll probably spend a couple years here. But whether or not I want to end up here, I don't know, right? Like I'm still figuring it all out, like what I want to do, and then maybe buy some land and build a home. But that'll be, you know what? How the hell old am I? 55. I'll be 56 this year. That financial reasons might be until I'm 60 or so. So using these next 4 years or so to kind of really pinpoint where do I want to be. Now I like it here in Butuan. There's a lot of things that I like about being here. Let's pull up the map. Just because I feel like I'm isolated a lot from the storms, like we don't get the typhoons and stuff like a lot of these guys get throughout other regions of the Philippines. We have some earthquakes out here for sure, but it's just a good pocket. I dig it out here. There are some things lacking for me, like a good beach and things like that, but you have that problem in a lot of places, ironically. I know with 7,000 islands, you would think you would have a lot more beach, but you know, that can be a little bit hit or miss. You know, there's just a lot, right? There's a lot to think about, a lot to consider when moving. I do really enjoy mountains and rice fields and things like that. So beach might not be as critical. Yeah, we really loved Padre Burgos when we went out there. So Southern Leyte, I mean, that was gorgeous down there. You know, yeah, Tim K's stomping grounds. But and then definitely not big city, but big enough city. That was kind of one of the things. So when we were out, you know what? Let's pull up that map again. When we were back in Leyte and where Mary Rose is from up here in Palampon, you know, the problem with here is it was just so damn small. This is a town of what, 60, 70,000 people. And there wasn't really a big grocery store. We had to drive an hour and a half all the way to Ormoc to get, you know, like coffee, like real coffee, you know, and other things. So it was just a little bit of a pain in the ass, but I loved it. I mean, just gorgeous out here. It's so beautiful. I mean, I do miss a lot of it. And just the small, I mean, we rode around with bicycle helmets through town and, you know, the beach was just right here. And, you know, it was great. You know, it was nice. So we're in that inquiry. We're still trying to figure out where, and using these next couple of years to kind of pinpoint by that. But it's been a little bit of a slow roll. Yeah. So, but good question, Ron. Michael, I thought about doing a YouTube when I get there so my kids can see me. Yeah, a lot of bloggers, I think they just want to hobby and mingle. Yeah, no, it's great. The autobiography sense of it, the documenting your own life or experience, big reason why I do it for sure. You know, also too, to keep myself mentally engaged is a big reason why I do it. Friends, connections is another reason why I do it. But yeah, and then just, yeah, to kind of know myself creatively is another reason why I do it. Although people, you know, it's far from a creative masterpiece. But yeah, no, there's definitely some real advantages, but there's also some real disadvantages that I think people need to have a reality check on. You know, when you put your life out there, when you put yourself out there, you know, people are going to come at you. You're a target, you know, mostly other foreigners and that kind of deal. You're not a target by other Filipinos, but you're a target for other foreigners. And you don't meet the greatest of people all the time. You meet people who are mostly over here for women and that kind of deal. And, you know, not all of them, and definitely not a lot of the guys on my channel. But you meet some creepy dudes sometimes. And, or you just meet sometimes you just meet people that you're trying to get away from, you know, whatever, loud, obnoxious Americans and you know, whatever, right? It opens the door up to not the best of situations, and then the financial cost of it. You know, it does cost money to do this at a certain level. You know, the cameras aren't free, the laptops aren't free, the drones aren't free, and all that stuff costs money. All the hardware that goes with it, all the licensing. You want to put music to your videos, you got to get, you know, licensing and stuff for that. I mean, it cost me, when I was looking at it, I haven't looked at it recently, but it was a couple $100 a month to run the channel. You know, now granted, I probably do it more expensive than on most of these channels. I'm not, you know, holding my phone and shooting myself. I've multiple different cameras and things like that, drones, and so I'm probably the higher cost of a lot of channels. But it's also a hobby, right? I enjoy that kind of stuff. So it costs money. You put yourself out there. If you put your girl up there, you're gonna get, you know, she's gonna get a lot of attention. So anyways, man, there's some drawbacks for sure, Michael. But yeah, good as far as something fun and engaging and something for yourself really too, 20 years from now, and your family. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. He says, I don't think I would do YouTube, rather just take in a different life. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Admittedly, there has been several times where I've thought for myself, was YouTube a mistake, right? Was it a mistake for me to kind of do this channel? And you look at guys out there, you look at guys who've gotten deported, you look at guys who go to jail, you know, for just simply not being aware of the culture and the you know, the local laws that are here, you know, defamatory comments, defamatory content, you know, you're almost waiting for jail, you know, and people don't understand that. Defamation is huge in this part of the world. Not so much in the United States. United States, you can get on and you can talk BS about people, you can talk BS, freedom of speech and that, and it ain't like that over here. Defamation is real and can give people jail time. So it's just, it opens yourself up a little bit, and you really have to be aware. You really have to be aware. Yeah. Jay Tyson, 400 is a lot. 400 is a lot for Mike, knowing he's living in the Philippines and on Social Security. Okay, I get what you're saying. Back on the 400 a month, yeah. But still, I go back to, I mean, as far as money, I mean, not to brag, but I was making like 10 grand a month in the United States. So to come here and make 400 or 500 a month, yeah, that's not money to me. That's not money to me, right? You know, when you're talking, and then again, when you factor in the cost of the channel, of it costs you 200 or 300 a month, and you're really making it, and then for what? You know, is that juice really worth the squeeze? You know, for what? You get harassed, you get, you know what I mean? It's just some things to think about. I think to put in perspective. I think some people like to brag about how much they're making on YouTube, and it's like, yeah, you can look, you can see, like I was saying, you can really pull up. If you pull up, like this add-on that I have here, this vidIQ add-on, it pulls up like estimated. Now, what this is basically going on views and stuff like that, right? Who's another channel? Yeah, Filipina P, right? Filipina P. You pull up her channel. You know, she's crushing it, right? Whatever, close to 500,000. You know, she's making whatever, 48,000 a year. But I mean, think about that though. These are the most successful YouTube channels, making less than 50 grand. I mean, it's not money, man. Old dog, yeah. Yeah, there's just, you know, you'd make more money flipping burgers. Yeah, less than 1,000 for Paul. Less than 1,000, less than 12,000 a year. You know, and these guys are working, man. These guys are working. You know, in the past 2 weeks, he's got videos there. I mean, left and right. And these are the more successful channels. You know, what's a regular guy? Regular guy. What's his channel doing? Yeah, 80,000 subscribers, videos. Yeah, so he's making 24 a year. And what's he do? Did he get? I think yeah. Hey, they're working, man. They're putting out videos. What are some other channels? What are some of the smaller ones that are out there, like kind of like my size? Yeah. What's that one? Yeah, I don't know. I don't really watch a lot of YouTube. Oh yeah, this girl, man. She was freaking rock star, man. Have you seen this girl, D? I dig this girl. Yeah, with D. She's got a new channel. Really sharp girl, man. Really sharp. And I like it because, you know, she doesn't really sexualize a lot of content and stuff like that. She's just really good information. I dig this girl. New channel. Check her out if you haven't already. Yeah, she's making some money, right? She's making over 2,000 a year. That would be my goal. I would love to make 2,000 a year or 2,000 a month on my channel. Yeah, good for her, man. What's that? Smart Girl Philippines. She's got another good channel. She's probably crushing it. What's she doing? Yeah, she's got, I don't know, whatever, 300. Yeah, so all right, a little less, right? So that's a great example of how subscriber count doesn't necessarily equate earnings. You know, it's a great example of that. There's another channel I was going to bring up. Oh yeah, Geo. Yeah, what's Geo? Geo on the go. What's Geo up to? What's Geo making? Oh, Geo's making 1,000, right? Yeah. So it just, and again, that's just views, right? This doesn't, where Geo is really doing well and crushing it is sponsorship, right? And and affiliates and all that other crap. You know, he's working every angle that you can. I mean, he's a professional. He's been doing it for a long, long time. Yeah, what about Rike? Life Beyond the Sea. Life Beyond. Yeah. You know, but he's working, right? This is a job for these guys. You know, it's a full-time gig. Estimated monthly earnings, 0. I wonder why. He must have demonetized his channel. Huh, interesting. Yeah, so do YouTube. The gist of that is do YouTube for fun, for sure. Don't do it with the illusion of making money. You will be disappointed. Or, you know, give it a 10-year window, right? Or whatever, right? And imagine that. Imagine working a job for years and not making any money. Yeah, right? It's just really wild. Okay, enough about that. I don't think I would do YouTube. Yeah, exactly, yeah. All right, yeah, foreigner. You live in Mindanao. Do you consider southern Mindanao a no-go zone? Travis was here, says. Do I consider southern Mindanao a no-go zone? Let's pull up the map again. And we will talk about Mindanao. I do not consider, you know, AI had a really good response to Mindanao. And yeah, the thought about that that I kind of like to repeat is Mindanao is a lot like saying don't go to Michigan because of Detroit. And I absolutely love that. And I think it's spot on, man. Yeah, go to Michigan. There's a lot of beautiful things to see there, but Detroit might be a little bit crazy, right? So, Mindanao is a lot like that. There are many great areas in Mindanao to see, and there's also areas that you might want to be mindful of. So, one of those is this, my understanding is this Butuan City region here. Lake Marawi is another one that people talk about, although I know a lot of people who have been there recently and even locals have been talking about how, you know, it was dangerous 10 years ago, but maybe not anymore. This peninsula through here, a lot of people talk about Zamboanga City, but I know people have also been there. Obviously, the Zulu Island string, that's, you know, also a no-go, although this isn't really part of the Philippines, I don't believe. But yes, there are some areas, and I believe what you the resource kind of that you want to use is United States State Department. It's going to give you the warnings. It's going to talk about where to go and not to go, and where to have precaution. I don't think the United States military is really allowed to do much traveling around Mindanao. So I don't know, man. For me, Mindanao is fine. It's safe. People are friendly. You know, the thing about safety, though, I think throughout the Philippines, whether you're in BGC, in Cebu, or in Mindanao, or wherever, you kind of want to have your head on you, you know. And if you're a drinker in bars and that kind of deal, that I think is where guys get themselves in trouble, no matter where they're at in the Philippines. That is where you're going to find chaos and crazy globally, right? And no different here. So. But is Mindanao safe? Absolutely. I love it here. I travel around all the time. I dig it. I'm also not out in the bars getting wild and crazy. I'm respectful. I have a big smile on my face. I practice getting what I get what I give, as we talked about earlier. Yes, in that regard, it's safe. It's fine. You know, but there's a mindset that you want to have, and then just, you know, take a look at areas that you don't want to go, because there are some areas in Mindanao that you probably don't want to travel to. I don't really go to those areas. You know, to me, a lot of that is, why bother? Why risk? There's so many places in the Philippines that I can go to. I don't necessarily need to run through areas that are questionable. As far as all of Mindanao, definitely not all of it. It's just like, you know, like saying again, don't go to Michigan because of Detroit. Very similar to that, but yeah. Let's see here. Where am I at? Yeah. Danny says, oh, you can't, yeah, I can't hear the construction. Wow, I'm pretty far behind. Yeah. I'm thinking of a Sportster, a low seat height than the ADV 160, a 30-inch seat height. My legs are 26. Yeah. Yeah. The seat height, Lowell, if you're thinking a Harley Sportster, I probably wouldn't get a Harley out here. They're just very expensive, a lot more expensive, and they're hard to get work. But yeah, if you're thinking an ADV 160, it's a little bit on the taller side, but you'll get used to that. The seat is wide, is what it is. It's kind of a wide seat, but it's fine. You can still get your feet down, and it's light, man. It's light, low center of gravity. It's a really easy bike to ride. Really easy bike to ride. Gary, hello from Louisiana. What's up, Gary? How's it going, man? Hope all is good there in Louisiana. How much, Nathan says, how much monthly internet service, and have you tried different providers? So our internet service is, what's that, 1,600, or 1,000, I just paid it, 1,800. Pull up my calculator here on this here. It's like whatever, 35 bucks or so. But I think it's what, 1,700. Yeah, it's 28 bucks for my internet. Yeah, 28 bucks for internet. And I have tried, and it's fiber. I've got a fiber connection right to my door. Holy shit. I got a fiber connection right to my door. And yeah, Love it. In some ways, it's better connection than I had in the United States. I never had fiber inside my house. Everything was always running on twisted pair, right? So I had good connections in the US, but I think my internet speed is right around 200 up and down. Since it's fiber, it's full duplex, right? So of up and down right around 200. So internet's been fine. Internet's been good. I did actually just order kind of like a UPS for my internet. I think I've got a photo of that I can show. Where is that? Really cool. Might be a pro tip that you might have. The hell is that deal? Is it this guy? Yeah, I think it was this guy. Let me show you. Yeah, I bought this thing. It's really nice, actually. It's a UPS for the internet. It's got two DC outs, and actually it's got a PoE, which I don't necessarily need because I don't have anything power over Ethernet, but it's got a DC out, so I can plug my modem into this. So if we have some power issues here in Butuan, very rare, but sometimes we'll have blips and things like this, and this device here will keep the modem going. I like it, and it was cheap, right? Another 30 bucks or so. This was pretty cool. I do kind of recommend this too, actually, if you're in an area that either gets power outages. So I think my modem will run like 6 hours on this device. So all day outages it wouldn't work so good for, but for blips and bounces and things like that, it'll keep the internet up. So super stoked about that. But yeah, right around 30 bucks or so. I had Globe, so now I have PLDT, which I think is smart, and it's whatever, 30 bucks a month. And they're all priced about the same. I had Globe before that. I've had Globe a couple of times in my places in Butuan City, and it was okay. One place was better than the other. But yeah, but you can get good internet here. Richard, good morning, Richard. Yeah, going to look at a Vogue. Yeah, nice, dude. Yeah, good for you, man. We don't have dealerships like that in unfortunately here in Mindanao. Maybe in Davao, but you're so limited to bikes outside of Manila. Yeah. Nathan, can you get Netflix, HBO Max, or other proper streaming services in the Philippines? And if so, are there any differences from the US version? Great question, Nathan. And yes, you can get that stuff. However, I think so here's the thing about streaming services. It's kind of a pro and a con of it, if you will. So what I had done, not initially, but kind of somewhat recently, within the past year, is I canceled all my streaming services and then re-enrolled with a different email address and signed up with a Philippines account because it's a lot cheaper. YouTube Premium, for example, I get YouTube Premium, and I think it's like 200 pesos a month for YouTube Premium. And guys, what is it back in the United States? Like, I don't know, 30 bucks a month or so. Here it's like $4. It's dirt cheap, man. It is dirt cheap. And same with Netflix. And actually got rid of Spotify because if you do YouTube Premium, it includes music. So I got rid of my Spotify, and you can also do a Spotify Philippines account. What I'm saying is if you do your Netflix, your Spotify, your YouTube Premium, all that crap under a Philippines account, you get it at a very cheap price, man. Very cheap. I don't know what my Netflix account costs per month. I think it's around 20, maybe 20 bucks or so. But we did a family account so that way Mary Rose and their family can also tap into that. I can't remember how much it is, but it's cheaper here. Now, the problem is you're going to get a lot of Korean crap. The dynamic will change, but you could find all the content that you would have in North America, but it will look different. You know, I got a lot of Korean drama and crap like that shows up on my Netflix feed that I would never see, if I had a purely a United States account. Now, what you can do and what some guys do, I don't necessarily do this, is you could keep all those services and then you can get a VPN and you can tell your whatever streaming service that you use that you can set up your IP address to the United States and then you can get that crap. For me, I just like, screw it, I don't care. I'll get the YouTube Premium for me. I just dig that, right? I got commercial free, I got YouTube Music, and it's dirt cheap. So I'm a big fan of that. And then Yeah, like I said, I got rid of my Spotify because of that, because it includes free, commercial-free music. So yeah, you can get that stuff. HBO Max, I don't know about. Disney, you can get. It's super cheap. I have struggled a little bit though getting my account set up, but it's dirt cheap, Disney. Um, yeah, now I struggle a little bit because it won't take my Gcash. But anyways, we basically just do YouTube and Netflix is what we're doing. What's the point of a bunch of performance upgrades when you say you never really go over 80 kilometers per hour? Boredom, LOL. Yeah, so that's a great question. And something I thought about with the NX is it with the exhaust, right? Yeah, there's some performance upgrade, but it's also sound. The NX is it's just a boring sounding kind of bike also. You know, you'll be riding around the Philippines and you know, because it's a big bike, people are like, you'll see kids and stuff like that. And I don't ever rev the engine because it freaking you can't hear it. So, yeah, open it up, make it breathe a little bit more. Torquey bikes, even if you don't ride fast like top end stuff, but adding some torque and some better sound to it would be the main reason. I like torquey machines, honestly. I've always been a guy that loves torque. The 790 Duke, I love that bike, just simply its torquiness. The MT-09, that would have been about MT-07. Those are bikes to me that I just like because of the torque and stuff. Top end, overall performance isn't really a deal for me. But good sounding engine. That's the other thing with my Duke, man. That thing just sounded so good. You know, really nice low rumbly engine. Not something loud and high pitch and obnoxious, but a nice low, nice rumbly tone to it is what I'm after. So that would be it. But you're right, it wouldn't be performance. It wouldn't be any kind of top end stuff, but more like sound, a better feeling kind of bike. The sound makes a big difference when you're riding, right? Like that's one of the things I just can't see about electric. Oh, I got an email just now from 550 Performance that they're gonna send off my request to the owner. Sweet, man. Uh, so that just as a recap, that's the people who do ECU tuning for the NX500, as well as the intake. So yeah, and it just some boredom crap to do. You know, I'm retired, man. So yeah, little bit of that, but yeah, top end performance. You're right. I don't ride fast, but cracking on a throttle and kind of getting around a little bit, that'd be fun, man. It'd be fun. It'd make the bike a little more interesting, I feel. But yeah, but you're right in that regard. I just don't really ride fast on or off road. But popping up a wheelie, that might be kind of fun, right? All right. All right, where are we at here? Yeah. Hi, Chris. First time here. Anyone ever tell you you resemble Bruce Willis? Yes, I hear that a lot. I get outside, and the Filipinos say that a lot. And my old work, they called me Bruce, you know. So yes, I get Bruce Willis, and I have for a long time. I got Luke Perry a lot as a kid. I get Bruce Willis now. I get the Hank guy. Is that his name? Hank from Breaking Bad a lot too. I get Dana White sometimes. I get Vin Diesel. Yeah, I get a lot. I guess I have a face that really resembles Hollywood actors or whatever. But yeah, I get that a lot, man. Yeah. Danny says Palawan is the safest island in terms of avoiding earthquakes and typhoons. Yeah, interesting, Danny. Yeah, appreciate that, man. Nathan, how much are TVs and computers and game systems in the Philippines, and are they less expensive back in the United States? They are not, Nathan. They are more expensive. Electronics in general are more expensive. That's why I would almost upgrade your technology. Get your watch, get your headphones, get your phones, get your iPads, laptops, all that crap there, and then bring it. TV obviously will be a little bit hard. But electronics in general, you're gonna pay a little bit more, and also too, I just don't think the quality is good. Like this is just kind of gut and me, no evidence to back this up, but I kind of feel like people ship their crappy products to the Philippines to sell because the Filipinos don't care. Again, that's me exaggerating a little bit and thinking about it, but part of me thinks that, you know. that just the quality of standard isn't high here, and people understand that and know that. And not only that, it's a non-confrontational culture, so people aren't going to say anything. So, anyways, man, I would buy your electronics here, and like PlayStation and Xbox. I think I've seen maybe a PlayStation here. You can order stuff online, and depending on where you're at, right? Like where Richard's at, Manila area, things like that. Yeah, you can buy all that crap up there. But yeah, TVs. I think we bought our TV. I don't remember how much I bought my TV. I think it was around 60,000 pesos. Yeah, I think it might have been around 1,000 US, which is expensive. That's more. I mean, that TV, whatever, it's a 65-inch Samsung TV. It's quality TV, right? But shit, I think you could have bought that TV for, you know, maybe 800 US or 700 US, right? So I think you're going to pay a third more, and because they're taxed and crap like that. So yeah, I would say probably 30% more here. You'll pay for stuff that may not be as good quality, or it's old, or you buy crap that's been sitting around for 10 years. It was one of the reasons why I bought my tires outside of the Philippines. I bought them on WeBike on Japan website, because I didn't want tires that were sitting in some warehouse for 3 years before some foreigner bought them, because no Filipino is going to spend, a couple $100 on a tire. So some of that stuff you have to be a little bit mindful of and kind of strategize. But yeah. Yeah, great question though, Nathan. Yeah, Tyler Lowell says, don't forget about their Christian Filipina kickbacks, right? I mean, that's how they make it. They promote, they get sponsorship, and they pay. They reached out to me, and I'm like, yeah, I can't promote that stuff, man. I can't do it. Because, and I've shot videos on this, there are better free options. There really are. There are better free options, man. Honestly, if you're looking for a wife, Facebook dating is probably your best bet, or a really good quality candidate girlfriend. Facebook dating is good. And it's free, completely free. Tinder free, Bumble free. Why pay hundreds of dollars for something that isn't nearly as good as some of the free options that are out there? But you're right. They can push this, they can peddle that product and get paid. I have a little bit of an issue with that, because I just feel it's an inferior product and people are pushing it. And anyone who pushes that site, to me, is on my radar for not a good quality person. Anyways, but yeah, you're right. That's how people make money, is sponsorships and stuff. And that, honestly, too, guys, that was one of my thoughts about my channel. I didn't want to create, first of all, the dating drama, the Jerry Springer type of content. I just uninterested. That's why I moved here, is to escape a lot of that way of thinking and being, and also too, but if you think about channels and creating crap, you look at like companies who look at your channel, like, what's your portfolio? What, like sponsorships or whatever, and you're out there peddling like dating content or whatever kind of Jerry Springer content, they ain't gonna look for you for sponsorship. They're not gonna give you money. Versus maybe Kawasaki will jump on my bandwagon, or I've had Uchi or whatever hell, that motorcycle navigation, and now I've got maybe 50-50 performance out of the United States. I've got companies now that are coming to me that are, hey, like, you know what, you've got content and we like your audience, and anyways, you know what I mean? So that's just also something to be mindful of as you're doing these channels. A lot of these guys, the only sponsorship they can get is peddle garbage like that, right? So anyways, man, that's just kind of my thought on that kind of stuff. But oh, Gojo Wander. Yeah, you know what? That'd be a good channel to kind of look at. Yeah, let's look at that. What's Joe doing? He seems like a good enough dude. Admittedly, I haven't watched a lot of his stuff, but Gojo Wander? Yeah, Jogo Wander. Yeah, good for him, man. 38,000. Yeah, and he's making 36 a year. And, as people pointed out, that's money here in this culture, in this environment. And it is, but guys, it's not It's still, you can make more money flipping burgers, you know, and you can spend it here. Guys, I think I spent, when I was looking at my budgeting and my pricing last year, guys, I think oh, did I share that? Yeah. Anyways, if I didn't, there it was. Uh, you know, I think I spent close to 50K last year, you know, so making 36 a year, uh, and YouTube ain't much, man. It ain't much. And then you got to pay taxes on that, right? And you got to factor in all your costs, like I said, for the channel. It doesn't, I mean, some of these guys can do low budget stuff, but it costs you money. It costs you money. Yeah. Richard says, yes, if you're planning on YouTube for income, yeah, you better be hustling. Yeah, then you're not your retirement. Yeah. And the danger now, Richard, and that a lot of us are seeing is that if you try to cross that line of being inappropriate, you can end up in jail. You know, we watch these guys come out here and, you know, put questionable content out there that sells, you know, they can quickly find themselves in jail or deported or any of that crazy crap because you're promoting content in a conservative culture. And the Filipinos are starting to get like, we're cracking down on some of these vloggers, right? And I'm, you know, whatever, man, whatever. Jeff, did you say 4 years? Do you feel the overall inefficiency of the Philippines is starting to feel like personal attacks on your sanity? Or have you traded frustration for a shrug and a laugh? Yes, the latter. And you have to. You have to do this. This is the mindset, Jeff, that I think will get you in trouble quickly. Admittedly, there's times, so like riding around, like the drivers here, you know, you're really, and especially coming from North America where road rage is a real deal. And a lot of us have maybe even practiced road rage, right? Honking your horn in frustration, flipping people off or whatever, right? People don't do that here, right? So you really, and people will come out in front of you and they'll drive in a way that you are just not used to. And so you really have to kind of be like, okay, here we are, right? And yeah, so you just gotta take it all in. You gotta relax. The inefficiencies are there. You know, building a house is a real deal. You know, a lot of times in this project here, I feel like I'm raising kids. You know, they're coming inside, they're leaving doors open, they're putting their hands on the wall, and I got big handprints on the wall that I gotta clean up. And you know me, Jeff, I'm running my vacuum 4 or 5 times a day. They're leaving the door wide open. These kids are like practically born in a tent, I feel. They don't know that, you know, they got an AC on and they're leaving the door wide open, or they're leaving the window wide open and then they're standing there and talk, or they're in there smoking. You know, there's just like, yeah, it can get to you sometimes, but you just gotta chill. You gotta remember the alternative. That's the thing that I go to is what's the alternative, right? Living back in the West, you know, dealing with chaos and crazy, you know, as they say here, dili lang salamat. Yeah, no thank you. No thank you. But yeah, man, and that's the thing that I go to. You know, you gotta feed that good wolf. You gotta laugh about it. You gotta realize, okay, you can't have this comparison way, like life in the US is this way. You can't ever feel like you're gonna teach people anything. You know, that's another pitfall I've seen my neighbor get into. You can't, you know, don't try to teach people anything. Just be like, all right, just smile and move on. And then I think along that, the more you can do on your own, the better off you are. And that is a big thing that I've here. I used to be like, hire the guy in the United States, right? I made decent money. Hire the guy, you know, bike mechanic, hire the guy, paint my house, hire the guy, you know, do mile construction, hire the guy. You know, the more you can do here, the better you are. Yeah. VidIQ Prancer girl. Let's do that, brother. Dude, that's hilarious, brother. Yeah, Prancer size. P-R-A-N. Prancer size. It's even in my history. 16 million views. Oh my gosh. Brother. Dude, that's hilarious. All right. Yeah, she's making 41 bucks a month. Yeah, good for her. Oh, dude, that's funny, man. That's funny. Oh my gosh. Oh my God, brother. Yeah, good for you, man. Uh, why Butuan over CDO? Seth asked. Traffic. I didn't want to, let's pull up a map. I didn't want to move to a town that had traffic or had a lot of traffic. And that's what's cool about Butuan here, guys. Butuan is a big city. You have close to 500,000, 400,000. What, twice the size of Dumaguete. And yet, if you see some of my videos and I'm riding around, man, there ain't crap for traffic here, dude. Look at this. Let's pull up the traffic map. Nothing. Of course, it's Saturday morning at 8:20, but still, no traffic, man. You have some traffic around SM Mall, wherever the hell that is at. I actually don't like that. Uh, yeah, okay, there we go. We got some traffic now. Yeah, and around that typical area. Around SM Mall, you got a little bit of traffic, but you've got all these bypass roads. You got a bypass road here, or right here, that runs through town, parallel to the main drag. No traffic, none. You've got this major bypass road that runs outside. There ain't nothing on there. You can go 50, 60 miles an hour on there if you want. There ain't nobody on there. You got another avenue. You can cut this way if you need to go through, whatever, the north side of town. So it's really well laid out. And then in comparison, let's look at CDO. And it's just, it doesn't look too bad on the map either, but trust me, there's just massive amount of traffic. Yeah, there it is. That's dead traffic through this route here, which is just absolutely congested, like almost 24 hours a day. This route here, the traffic was the main reason. Plus I wanted a little bit of a smaller town. I wanted a town that I still had a couple of malls and I could go to grocery stores, but I didn't want a massive, massive mega town. And CDO is massive, whatever, millions of people. It's, smaller than Cebu, but I didn't want a mega town. I wanted a smaller. I like the smaller town vibe. And 500,000 people. Butuan for me is a good size. Ormoc is another one that's kind of on that similar size area. And it is a lot closer to where Mary Rose's family at, but they have bad traffic. And this is a good example. Ormoc's actually technically a lot smaller than Butuan, but the traffic is freaking 10 times worse. And the reason why, oops, was I showing that? Yeah, there's Ormoc there. They add trikes to the freaking, you can ride the trikes around. And these damn trikes, man, they're just a wreck when it comes to traffic. They just wreak havoc on traffic. They just slow it. That's Dumaguete's problem. That's Ormoc's problem. That's a lot of these towns' problem. Butuan doesn't allow trike traffic on all the roads. So yeah, that's why I like Butuan and over CDO in particular. It's just the size of the town. I have most of the amenities that I would want in CDO, but in a smaller town vibe. I've got hospitals, I've got malls, I've got restaurants, I've got grocery stores, I got movie theaters. Like I said, I got pretty much everything that I would look at here. But yeah, great question, Seth. Nathan, Chris, can you play any PlayStation or Xbox or computer games in your free time, or did you play them back in the United States? Nathan, I was a big gamer and still a little bit, not as much as I used to be in the U.S. That was definitely my escape in the U.S. I feel. I love games, man. Even as a kid, I played Defender and Galaga and, crap like that. And I had an Atari. And then, yeah, as a computer guy, I built out a nice gaming system. Honestly, I played a lot of World of Warcraft. A lot of World of Warcraft. I was a Resto Shaman, and I was a part of a major raiding guild on, I can't remember the realm, Proudmoore. Yeah. Yeah, I was top 1 or 2% in my realm on a high pop serve. So I was a major, like I said, I was a big healer in a raiding guild. So yeah, I gamed. And actually I downloaded the latest expansion, maybe a month ago. for World of Warcraft, but I was just like, yeah, that's a rabbit hole. I don't want to go back down again, right? But yeah, so I don't game as much as I used to. But you know, I did ship my Xbox. I did buy, so when I got my motorcycle accident, I was in that recovery deal at home. I did buy an Xbox then. I was luckily enough to get one. I had to finance it for some weird reason. That was the only way you can get one. I didn't need to finance it, but yeah, I can. But so yeah, I played an Xbox a little bit. Trying to remember, I bought what, Resident Evil or something like that I played a little bit. I was playing the latest Assassin's Creed. Man, I've played the crap out of that. That was fun. But every now and then, I don't game as much as I used to, just because it keeps me inside, and I like to get out and ride more now. But yeah, man, yeah, brother. But you can game, man. You've got a good internet connection out here. Maybe that was one of the things that I thought about with World of Warcraft. My connectivity isn't as good sometimes. Uh, yeah, Richard uses Prime, VPN and Amazon Prime. Yep, a lot of guys use that for sure. Seth says, pro tip, use Plex instead of streaming services. Yeah, I think I've heard of that. Yeah, I think people, I'll have to look at that too, Seth. Appreciate that. Or, yeah, sorry, your may not be Seth. But yeah, Richard says HBO Max is available and cheap. Ah, okay, cool. Yeah, I haven't subscribed to that. Netflix pretty much does what we need, and YouTube pretty much does. But yeah, I'll have to check that out. That's good stuff, Richard. You love your Yoshimura on your 900? Ah, nice, dude. Yeah, nice, man. I love my Yoshimura on my Sherpa. Really good sounding machine. And that really opened it up too. It gave it a little more, like I was seeing a whatever 10% gain on the Sherpa, which whatever. I freaking dig that little bike, man. I dig that little bike. Such a great machine, man. Freaking really dig that bike. So much fun. Let's see if I pull this up again. Yeah, I just dig that machine, man. See if I can pull up a picture of it. Yeah. Yeah, really it's just such an easy bike to go riding on. Yeah, here's a nice sunset shot. Yeah, just getting out and exploring. Yeah, I dig it, man. Yeah. Yeah, man. Such a great bike. Yeah, well, there's a good shot with the tail tighting on now, too. Yeah, the Yoshimura exhaust, tail tidy. Yeah, and these tires, these Bridgestone AX41s, really, really good, man. Really good. Yeah, I'm in loving the riding out here. Big fan. Really digging the riding. Yeah, it's been good, man. Let's see here. I got a Yamaha R6, yeah, and a BMW K100. Okay, all right. In the fills, I'd probably get a little 150 for around town and a 250 for longer trips. Yeah, man. Yeah, the R6, and yeah, that's a bike that gets you in trouble out here. But yeah, man. Yeah, nice. Yeah, if you're into BMW's got that bike that they're talking about, the 450 GS. That might be a really, if you're a BMW guy, that might be an ideal bike for the Philippines. You might be able to do a lot with that one bike. I really dig my scooter for around town. I know, I just dig that freaking bike, man. Really, really good. Obviously, we got, like I said, 16,000 kilometers on it. Yeah, let's see here. Let's see here. Sorry, I got mixed up on the comments. There we go. Yeah, if Luzon get at least a 400cc for freeway, yeah. As Richard's saying, Luzon is unique in the area in that where you have to have a 400cc bike to get on the interstates there. But if you're not going to be in Luzon, it's only there. Yeah, don't much time I'll spent mostly surfing, and God, good for you, brother. Good for you, man. I'd love to get into surfing. I'll never forget this guy I met in immigration, man. He was talking about he lives in Eastern Mindanao. He's got the surf area. He just goes surfing every day. Nobody's out there. But yeah, man, really cool. Thanks for the super chat too. I'm seeing that up here. Man, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Like I said, the chat can be a little bit of a thing where I can't see it, but appreciate the super chat wherever that came in. Maybe I'll scroll down and I'll see it, but in case I missed it, really appreciate that. Let's see here. Yeah. How much, Nathan says, how much are name brand beers, single bottles and six packs, average Philippine store? I don't know, brother. I quit drinking back in 2015, so I don't drink anymore. I'm kind of like the NX. I'm kind of boring. But I would assume it's pretty cheap. I would assume beers like that are pretty cheap. The San Miguel, I think, is one that San Miguel Light, I think, is what a lot of people like. It's kind of like a Coors Light, from my understanding, or San Miguel. Yeah. Red Horse is pretty popular out here. I think that's like an Achillean Red. But yeah, those two, San Miguel and Red Horse, are your typical beers that are out here, man. How much are trash bags? They don't have American brand stuff. Trash bags, stuff like that, are dirt cheap, but they're also damn thin. Yeah. Yeah, products in general can be a little bit cheaper quality than what we're used to, for sure. That is an adjustment. Roomba! You should open up a live from the Roomba perspective. Yeah, slap a camera on my Roomba. Oh my gosh. How do you see all the analytics for all those channels? Basically, what that is, that's an add-in called vidIQ. And what that does is it kind of shows you, it's an add-in that most vloggers have. So anytime you pull up a channel, you can download it. It's just an add-in. You can download vidIQ and it'll show you the stats and stuff like that. And again, these are just estimate earnings, but it's pretty spot on, I would imagine. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, yeah. It's about what I'm getting per month now, which is great. That definitely pays for the cost of my channel, right? And gives me a couple of $100 extra. But definitely, making $200 a month, that's a hobby. But whatever, But yeah, vidIQ is what you can look at there. That's where you can get that stats, and it's just an add. Nathan says, are the Philippines gas prices being affected by the war? Yes, they are. They've gone up. Yeah, it looks like Richard comments in there. I don't really pay attention much to it because I'm riding scooters and 230cc bikes. The NX 500 is, even that's pretty fuel economy, right? Whatever. It costs me a couple bucks to fill up my bikes, but it's so cheap, I don't really pay attention to it. Yeah. CF Moto 450 MT is available in Butuan. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. There is a small CF Moto shop here in Butuan, which is wild. There's a couple of small shops that just opened up. There's another one that opened up that also does Royal Enfield. There's a Scrambler. That's a bike that I wouldn't mind too. Let's see if we can pull up Royal Enfields. I'm really impressed with Royal Enfield, man. Those guys are freaking crushing it. I really feel like they're putting out bikes that consumers are navigating towards. Royal Enfield. There's that Bear 650. A good Scrambler might be a great bike for the Philippines too. Yeah, like this Bear 650. I mean, that looks freaking. I'd dig that bike, man. I'd dig that bike. I'd love to have this bike, honestly. I think it'd be pretty cool. Little Scrambler, 650 Scrambler. I mean, that's a big bike for here. It's probably's got a great sound on there. I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, man. Yeah, I'm digging Royal Enfield. I think they're kind of doing well, man. Yeah, Bear 650 would be cool. I had the Hunter 350, but I think now I'd move towards the Gorilla 450. This bike wasn't available when I bought it. But yeah, of course, the Himalayan 450, phenomenal machine. But yeah, you can get these bikes in Butuan now. And you're right, there is a small KTM CF Moto shop here in Butuan. They actually had some Kawasaki's too, but they couldn't get my Sherpa, so we had to go chase down the Sherpa from another shop. So, but yeah, let's take a look here. Where are we at? Where are we at? Yeah, there we are. 950, about 950 gallon per. Richard says, if you live in Ormoc, Robert says, if you live in Ormoc, the traffic isn't so bad once you learn all the back roads and shortcuts and alleys. There's only a couple hours in the morning and same in the PM. Butuan Top Lakes takes forever and you can't turn. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't think there are any stoplights in Ormoc, right? I don't think there are any, which is typical for most Philippines town. And if you learn the back roads inside, that makes sense. That makes sense. And similar here, if you ride up and down the main road in Butuan, you're going to hit traffic and the lights take forever. But to me, just the layout of the roads, let's pull up the map again. It just, I mean, you could see it on this map, right? Yeah, I mean, it ain't bad. Yeah, that's probably a good bypass road there. But the traffic there is horrendous. In comparison, the traffic to me is much, granted, it's subjective, right? The traffic is much worse in Butuan and much worse in Ormoc than in Butuan, on a town that's actually smaller. This main road is really about the only road that you're going to get traffic on. And look, you could just simple. It's laid out simple. You got major east-west routes. You've got this nice little bypass road in here, and just this hardly has any traffic. And this main road here doesn't have any traffic. And you can get going 60 miles an hour on that road. There ain't no road in Ormoc that you're going to take that you can get that done on. So it's in, like I said too, Ormoc is a lot smaller, but it makes sense once you get to know the lay of the land in Ormoc and know all the little kind of nicks and crannies and side roads that you can take, that it would be better. But for me, sure, I definitely prefer the Butuan traffic than in Ormoc. But I do like, the nice thing about Ormoc that Butuan doesn't have is a good port. For us to get for us to go to a port, we have to go all the way to Nasapit, which is a good half hour away. Yeah, there's Nasapit there, and that's the ports coming out of there. Ormoc's got the ports right there, easy trips back and forth to Cebu. So here you can do to Cebu, but it's an overnight trip just because of how far we are away. But yeah, quick, easy back and forth to Cebu from Ormoc's a great little town. It is. You've also got fast crafts. If you're looking to get from Cebu to Ormoc, you can do these fast. That's where the hell am I? That's so good. Where's Ormoc? Oh, there we are. So you can do fast crafts from Ormoc to Cebu. Ormoc's that first kind of province town that you can check out as a foreigner, and you can really get to it easily. Once you get there, though, it's a little bit hard to navigate, but whatever, you can get around on trikes and stuff like that. But yeah, I like the Ormoc, and I still like it. Just as a town to live in, though, I'm happy with kind of the setup here in Butuan. Let's see here. GS Moto Philippines. Morning, motorcycle in Butuan. Yes, good morning. I love the riding here in Butuan. Beautiful. Lots of off-road crap. Yes. Let's see here. Nathan, did you ever play Call of Duty? A little bit, I think. A little bit. Yeah. Not a ton. I was never into console gaming as much. I mean, I did buy the console now and I have it now, but I was more into PC gaming. Honestly, most of it was World of Warcraft. That was kind of the bulk of my big gaming. And then I bought other PC games because I did build a gaming PC. I can't remember any of this crap that I had, like Assassin's Creed on PC and stuff like that. And then I did buy the game console and I bought stuff, but I haven't really played a lot of Call of Duty, no. But yeah, no, it'd be fun, man. It'd be fun. Jeff, yeah, wow, effing cool. The City of Heroes, die hard for a few. A buddy showed me, wow. a long time ago, but just didn't grab me. Yeah, yeah, I got sucked in, man. I got sucked in. Wrath of the Lich King. And I played a lot. Like I said, I got involved in a pretty hardcore raiding guild, and I played a lot of World of Warcraft for a good couple of years. Jay asks, have I ever ventured to Palawan area, El Nido? Yeah, if I have, what's a decent city there? Jay, I have not been yet to Palawan or El Nido. Let's pull out the map though, and we can look. I do have some places marked on my map. Of course, Puerto Princesa City is where you kind of get into and fly into. Where's that? Yeah, the Honda Bay I hear is pretty spectacular. I remember there's a guy a while back that talked a lot about Honda Bay. He was a big diver. Of course, to the north, you've got El Nido and what's that? El Coron, right? El Nido, El Coron. Gorgeous up through there. Quite a journey to get there, though. I did have some cities along here marked on my map that I can't remember. Yeah, it'd be gorgeous. It's a little bit small and isolated for me. Would I get out there? I will eventually, I'm hoping, get out there. But the big touristy areas, Boracay and things like that, I actually kind of like to avoid. Surigao Island, I'm just not into the whole touristy crap. Nothing against that. I remember, gosh, I went out to Boracay in Holy Week. Man, that was the last time I would do anything like that again. Just so freaking packed and mobbed, and it was just, yeah. I'm gonna see if I can pull up photos of that. Can I do a search? B-O, yeah, Boracay City. That's Boracay Road. P-O-R. Yeah, I guess I can't. Yeah, I thought I was able to do a little bit of search, but anyways, yeah, I just don't like the big touristy areas as much. There it is, Jay. A little gas for the dirt bike. Salamat kayo, brother. Appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks for that, Jay. Good times. Arcade Berry. Rokans are great in the snow. Okay. Yeah. Nathan and Chris, will you ever open the panel for your subscribers to join and talk to you? Can do it on StreamYard. Not sure about this service though. Yeah, I don't know, right? Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. I know other vloggers have done that. I can't remember the guy, Mike and Arlene, right? He used to do a lot of that, bring people up. Yeah, I don't know, right? I mean, for me, the whole purpose of the YouTube and the vloggers is to ask people questions, but yeah, I mean, there might be some value in that. I could look to do that. Yeah, I can look to do that. I can research to see the scroll feature is a pain in the ass. But let's take a quick look. If let's see. With the OBS software that I'm using for streaming, for live streaming, would I be able to invite anyone up to the live stream to join me? How is that possible? Yeah, let's see. I don't know if it's possible or not. It's something I haven't really inquired into. Short answer, OBS by itself can't invite guests like StreamYard or Zoom can, but you can absolutely do it. You just need to pair OBS with something else. So it looks like I can do it, but I need to either move it in with Zoom or something like that. So yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. Interesting question, Nathan. I use Social Blade to see what's behind the wall stats. Yeah, that was another one, Jeff. Social Blade, I think, is one that can bring up YouTube's earnings and things like that too. Yeah, good one. Yeah. If you haven't encountered yet, Fortnite, yeah, Fortnite's freaking bomb, right? It's excellent. He's based near you in Vancouver. Yeah, they've done a couple reviews on the new Chinese brand adventure bikes. I've watched those videos myself, brother. I'm a huge fan of Ryan. I dig his content. He's hilarious. He's funny, although he kind of is digging at Americans. Like, anyways, but big fan of Ryan and the channel over there. Yeah, no, I think he's right. That 800, the Cove 800 that he's talking about in there, is spot on. And you know, he's made some comments that I think are very accurate. And I think too why I bought my dual sport bike. You know, I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he was like, "Why a dual sport? You know, what's the difference between a dual sport and a venture bike?" And you know, he's a guy that has the 450 MT. I'm like, "Wait, man, you know, wait. You know, I get riding around off road, and as a 55-year-old dude, I want something light. I mean, God, I'm practically riding an electric bicycle. That damn thing is so light and agile and flexible. It's sub 300 pounds, you know." But yeah, no, I'm absolutely familiar with Ryan F9. Big fan of his channel and his work. You know, a lot of work in his production. But yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, Richard says Fortnite, great channel. Chris introduced me. Yeah, yeah, he's probably one of the largest motorcycle vloggers out there. You know, another vlogger I like to watch, Ben, Dork in the Road. Yeah, let's pull, since we're talking YouTube, let's pull up some channels. Oops, what did I open up there? Let's see here. Let's quit that and go here. Yeah, Dork in the Road. Yeah, Ben over at Dork in the Road. He's got a great motorcycle dual sport channel. You know, 200,000 subscribers. Yeah, there you go. He's making 6K a month. He's making some money. Granted, he's not a Philippines vlogger, but yeah, he's making some money. Good for him, man. And he does a lot of sponsorships and crap like that and endorsements. So yeah, he's, you know, probably pushing 10 grand. He's, you know, making north of 100,000, which now you're, you know, you're at least you're out of freaking lower class, you know. But this is another guy I like to watch, Ryan F9. Yeah, Fortnite, 2.3 million subscribers. Yeah, I'm showing that. Yeah, you're making 30 grand a year or 30 grand a month. Now you're making some money. Yeah, right? Now you're making some money. But this is top. Ain't no Philippines vlogger pulling in that. But yeah, I like Dork in the Road. I like that. I like, who's the other guy? Oh yeah, Big Rock. He gets a little bit on my nerves with his kind of whiny voice sometimes, but whatever. Ian, I think his name is. You know, I like this guy's channel. Again, these are all like dual sport channels, right? And stuff like that. But those are the kind of channel. Yami Noob, right? Yeah, I don't really watch much Yami Noob, but he did a talk about the what's that? The I'm trying to remember the bike. Crap, Honda 790 Hornet. Yeah, he's the one I saw on that. Yeah, this guy's making 20K a month. So yeah, those are kind of the motorcycle channels that I don't really watch Yami at all, but I definitely watch Ben and Ian and those guys. There's a couple of probably other channels that oh, I like Chronicles of Solid, although he's changed his content quite a bit recently. COS? That, uh, I think he's changed his channel quite a bit. Yeah, Solid Moto. Okay. This guy is out of Australia. Yeah, 300 bucks a month. But I like this guy's content too. He like a lot of the guys that I'm watching are dual sport guys. I do like that. Although he bought a big GS and he's kind of touring around on that. But he had a Himalayan. Another guy I like with this Aaron guy. He's a Filipino vlogger. 80 bucks a month, right? Yeah, babe. Yes, please. Yeah. Oh, here's another guy, Rod, Amazing Philippines. This guy, man. I dig, you know, freaking Rod's rock star, man. I dig Rod. He used to do, and he probably still does, although his face is here. He pretty much does a faceless channel. And, you know, he's got this super strong North Dakota accent. Thanks, baby. My own Buntag. He's got a super strong, whatever, Dakota, Minnesota, Fargo, North Dakota accent. I freaking dig that guy. Met him in Cebu. Shout out to you, brother. Hope you're good up there in Cebu. But anyways, yeah. So here's another guy I was just saying I watched too. Aaron. He actually got picked up by Kawasaki, and he's doing the Philippines loop on a Kawi. Where's that lollipop girl? She's thanks, baby. She's got a good channel too. But yeah. 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 Anyways, some good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see here. Yeah. Lightly snowed a couple days. Bike season just getting started. Yes, that's what I like about the bike season here. It is year round. Yeah, Ryan Spellcheck. Yeah. Yeah, I love the riding season here. Oh shit. Man, I found Troy and Venus. Man, I found a CRF 300 Rally for sale in Iloilo the other day. I won in Australia and it's my pick for the Philippines. Brother, you are right on. I love that bike. Granted, now you're going to want to get the suspension done, right? You got to get the front and rear suspension done on that bike. And there are some shops here that you can do that on. And there's a lot of aftermarket that you can, I'm trying to remember that shop. I think it was out of Thailand. But yeah, actually, if you're in Australia, you might be able to get some shops from Australia to ship your stuff here too. But yeah, I'm with you, man. CRF 300 Rally, great bike. It wasn't a bike that I landed on. It might be a bike that I get in the future. The suspension bothered me a little bit on that bike. The extra seat height on that bike. So kind of the plan of this bike, the Sherpa, is also have maybe train Mary Rose to ride it. And then the both of us can go off riding. You know, and I'd maybe upgrade to the CRF 300 Rally in maybe like 2027, or I pick up the BMW 450 GS, or I go to a KLX 300, or the Suzuki DRZ, right? So that was kind of my thought process on this bike is I would learn on it. I would have fun with it. I would enjoy riding on it. I would shoot content on it. And then down the road, I would maybe look to upgrade to potentially that, or honestly, the DRZ has got my eye. Really does have my eye. But you know, who knows? That's a year or so down the road for me. That the BMW 450 GS also had my eye initially, but I don't really like high revving, as we talked earlier. I don't like high revving bikes. I like torquey bikes. So yeah, so we'll see. And I kind of, that might be a high revving bike on the 450 GS, but I'm not sure. I'm just still kind of looking. But yeah, dude, the 300 Rally, really good. Yeah. Look up the Y files. The Y files. Yeah, let's look up that. Let's see here. 5.7 million subscribers, huh? Yeah, estimated monthly earnings, 230,000. Yeah, there you go. Now you're making some money. Definitely ain't a Philippines vlogger. Yeah, I mean, the top Philippines vlogger is maybe making 36 a year. Maybe. Yeah. If you're lucky, you'll cover your costs. If you're lucky, you'll cover your costs. Yeah, I just think that's important to put in perspective with people. Yeah, I'm gonna come out here and do a YouTube channel and this and that, and I'm gonna live off of that. And yeah, you ain't doing that, man. You ain't doing, you know, the likelihood of you doing that is slim to none. And what you have to do to get that is dangerous. Is dangerous. Ask the guys that are sitting in jail or got deported or any of that, right? The content that you kind of have to promote in this, that's the thing about this genre. How many guys, I mean, look at my channel, right? Making nothing, but I mean, 'cause it's not a motorcycle vlogging community. It's dating. That's the genre. Jerry Springer and dating and all that crap, right? And that's a dangerous genre to get wrapped up in. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, they're pulling down some money, man, for sure. They're pulling down some money. The area in BGC would be amazing to ride. What area, Richard? I must have missed that. My bad. Being retired eighth in the Philippines means not to travel during holidays. Yeah, man. And I, traveling around a Holy Week, wouldn't do it. Stay home during Holy Week, stay home during election time, those are kind of times a year you just want to stay home. Yeah, yep. Yeah, cool bike, the ZRS, Z900 RS. Yeah, nice bike, brother. Good for you, man. Yeah. Yeah, good night, Nathan. Yep, no worries, man, if you're still here. Dean Perry, a 5 foot would be, at 5 foot, would I be too short to ride the ADV 160? Dean, no, brother, you'd be fine. You'd get used to it. Mary Rose is barely 5 feet. I mean, barely, if maybe 4'11". And she's fine. She's fine. She's whatever, maybe 5 feet tall and maybe 100 pounds, and she's fine. The seat's wide, and yeah, but you'll get used to it. Like bikes in general, like even a super tall dirt bike, you get used to the height of it. You get to learn how, when you stop, to kind of put what side of your foot goes down. It's really easy to get your feet down on that bike. It is a wide seat though. I don't think I flat foot it. You can scoot forward on the bike to kind of get you a little bit on the narrower part of the seat. But yeah, brother, you'd be fine. You'd be fine on the ADV. Great bike, phenomenal, really good machine. Thanks for the bike channel recommendations. Yami is more of a younger audience channel. Yeah, I haven't watched it in years. Yeah, I haven't really watched Yami. Although, like I said, I did appreciate Yami's video on the 790 Hornet and acknowledging Honda. Honda, granted the NX 500 is kind of a boring bike, but Honda's really coming out with some innovative stuff. With that triple, that 900 triple, with the wild technology that they're doing there. I'm excited. They're equipping a lot of their bikes with an e-clutch. So yeah, there's some cool stuff. There's some cool stuff coming out, man. Yeah, I'm really kind of impressed with Honda's lineup. Now the NX 500, whatever. Like that's one too. I'm a little bit excited about kind of waking up this NX to make it more of a spirit. That's the thing about it lacks character. The fun thing about my Duke was just the character of that bike, man. Just I mean, man, it had just so cool. This is like whatever. And that's kind of what I like about the Sherpa. And it's a 230. It's got character, man. It is so fun, man. I dig that little bike. The NX is, so it'll be fun to get a full exhaust on there, maybe flash the ECU, open up the airbox, make it a torquey little fun machine that sounds good. Maybe swap out the tires, get something a little more off-road, but I don't know. Maybe I just keep it as a street bike. I don't know, man. Good stuff though. I'm super stoked about it. Super stoked about it. Yeah, but Dean, you'd be fine on the ADV. You'd be fine, brother. Yeah, thanks for the bike channel recommendations. Yami is more, yeah. Raffle Tufel makes bank. Yeah, people make money on YouTube. Yeah, watch Adam Rankin. Yeah, he lives, I think, yeah, he is on my things there, right? He lives around the corner from me in Australia. Yeah, no, I think I have him on my, yeah. Yeah, this guy, is that what you were saying? Yeah, there's a couple of them too, right? Yeah, he's a highly skilled rider. There's another Australian guy that Chris Birch. He's another guy. Yeah, no, good. There's a lot of great channels out there. Why do you think how much Yami makes with his YouTube channel? Well, let's take a look at his channel. What are we talking about here? Yummy Noob. I think he sold his channel, didn't he? I don't think, is it even him doing it anymore? And see, here's the thing about this. So this is just, look at that, 20K a month though. Dude, that's some money. And dude, that's just views. That doesn't count sponsorships or any of that crap, which at this level, that's where you make most of your money is in sponsorships, man. Just crushing it. Crushing it. Yeah, and where you make money, guys, it's not subscribers. And this helps, that helps. But where you make money is views, right? Views. Views is what pays. Oops. Views is what pays. That's what makes you money. Yeah, 896,000 views, 120,000 views, 218,000 views, 1.1 million views. That's where you make the money in YouTube. It's not, they don't pay you based on subscribers. YouTube pays you on how many views you get in your videos. So, I mean, you've got channels that, look at David Bond, right? And he doesn't really do anything anymore. That's why. Yeah, you've got channels like David, he's got 500,000 subscribers and he just doesn't have any view. He's not putting anything out, or if he is, it's all going, videos 8 months ago, yeah, or, he's got a whatever VPN on a lot of his content. So subscribers are part of the story, but they're not a big part of it. Views are what is what it's all about. That's the revenue. That's where people kind of make the money is with the views. So yeah. Yeah. All right. If YouTube pay is determined is YouTube pay determined on where it's yes and no, right? YouTube's pay is determined by where your viewers are at, not necessarily where you're at, right? So yes and no. So meaning this, if most of your viewers are from North America, that's going to pay more versus most of your viewers being Philippines. So because of the likelihood of that North American audience member watching your channel, buying something, so that's what it is, right? YouTube will put commercials out. It's all about commercials and revenue and crap like that. That's how you make money on YouTube is you put out your video, YouTube will sell AdSense or time to that and people, whatever companies like Nike or whatever will buy time in that video. And if your viewers are North American or wherever, or, European, you'll make more money based on that. So it's not necessarily so much where your channel is based, it's where your viewers are based, right? So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Yami Noob posts almost daily. Yeah. It's work, man. It's work. And these guys, I think old dogs kick back a little bit, but these guys that are posting daily, dude, that is a job. That is a job. I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine. I mean, that's more than a full-time job. For what? 24 a year? 36 a year? Yeah, man, dilly long salaman. And that was the realization that I got to. I mean, I'm working harder than I did in the United States, working 50, 60 hours a week, making 10,000 a month. I'm not going to work that hard for 24,000 a year. Yeah, no thanks, man. Yeah, no thanks. For what? Right? To potentially get myself in trouble? Look, I mean, even my small piddly channel attracts some attention. You put a little bit of a target on your back with YouTube. You do. With other vloggers, and then, in hindsight, not necessarily hindsight, but coming here and kind of disappearing and disconnecting, it's hard, you don't do that with a YouTube channel, right? Yeah, if you just want to come here and disconnect and disappear and go travel around and do crap, don't start a YouTube channel. Yeah. Kevin says, "Hey brother, hope you're doing well. Wondering if you can remind the viewers that next to the volume button, there's a live play button. They can catch. Okay, yeah. There's a live play button that they can click on to catch up them if they fell behind on the laptop. Interesting. Yeah. Wonder if you can remind the viewers that next to the volume button, there's a live button. Yeah, you can click, you can scroll live back and forth. Interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, and YouTube pays 1/10. That comment doesn't show up on my thing yet, but yeah, YouTube pays 1/10 on the Philippines. Yeah, subscribers. It makes a difference where your subscribers are from. I think it's what they call CPM or RPM or whatever. I don't really dive deep into the analytics like some people do, but yeah, where your viewers are from makes a big deal. Most of mine are North American. The other interesting thing a lot about my viewers, most of mine are they watch my content on the TV, not on the phone or any of that. Let me just see if I can show some of that analytics. I don't know if it shows. Let's just take a look here. Analytics. Since we're all cut up in comments, yeah, I don't think it shows. I thought it showed on the dashboard. Sorry, guys, I'm just looking at this real quick. Dashboard. Yeah. I was looking for. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's weird. I can't remember where I was seeing all that stuff. Oh yeah, maybe it's, yeah, you know what? Here, we'll show this out. So here's my analytics screen. Here's an overview, right? Talks a little bit about my estimated revenue, and this has been pretty spot on. Yeah. So I had one video that's still freaking crushing it. This freaking video here absolutely crushed it, man. And I'm probably gonna redo this video at some point, just because I just don't want to turn into a real. See, you gotta be mindful of what the hell you're putting out, right? You gotta be mindful. You gotta, because the next thing you know, you turn yourself into a damn real estate channel, or you turn yourself into a dating channel. You got one or two videos like this. Like, look at this, right? This video got almost 800,000 views. We're pushing 1,000,000 views, right? That's freaking rock star. It made roughly $4,000, but perspective, that's over a month. And this was probably by 80% of my earnings for that entire year of 2025. So I know it looks like a lot, but if you do one of these videos a year, you ain't making shit, right? No, you do one of these videos a month, now you're talking. But yeah, anyways, my point is that where these views come from, it is a lot of my videos are on TV. Let's see here. Yeah, back to Channelytics. But yeah, that one video crushed it. And like I said, I'll probably do a follow-up. I just want to be careful. I don't want to turn into a real estate channel. But yeah, there's some interesting stats that you could look through. Yeah, browse feature, top videos, audience. Yeah, I think we talked a little bit about this. Subscribers, I'm down subscribers. New viewers. Yeah, it talks about videos that didn't do well. Channels that my audio watches. Jogo. Oh, I don't know this guy. Yeah. Yeah, Pro-Life Traveler. That's a guy. Holy shit, man. Yeah, you don't want to do a channel like that. Talks about when my viewers are on. I thought it gave me, yeah, the age, mostly male, age, gender. Yeah, TV. So TV is what most people, where they're from. Yeah, in United States, 60% United States. So, yeah. So that's a little bit of the analytics and kind of how that works. Interesting, whatever. And you'll see that stuff if you create a YouTube channel. That's kind of what I get access to. And it's also how I answer comments and things like that, is through that interface. Yeah. So let's see, where are we at? Any thoughts on the V-Strom 160? Is there a V-Strom 160? I know there's a V-Strom, the Suzuki, 250 or so. That I kind of looked at that V-Strom a little bit, but the power to weight ratio, like that's a heavy bike and very low CC. So I kind of knocked the V-Strom out pretty quick. Yeah, it kind of got removed pretty quick just because of the power to weight ratio on that bike. Yeah. Yeah, no more comments. I'm speechless. Yeah. Great watching your progress and learning how to thrash the dirt. Mike, man, dude, that's been so much fun. It has been so much fun. I love the riding on that. That bike is a riot. That bike is a riot. Everyone should have a dual sport, man. Everyone should have a dual sport. Maybe not the KLX 230 Sherpa a little bit, maybe the CRF 300 Rally. Like I said, I had a particular vision of kind of where I was going with that bike, but everyone should have a dual sport. So much fun. What's that? Cycle Cruiser, right? He's been riding dual sports for decades. Get a real effed up day. I don't know if you guys ever, let's pull up Cycle Cruiser, man. Cycle Cruiser deserves a shout out for sure, man. Yeah, I don't know if you guys ever watch him. He's a vlogger out of Cleveland area. He's been vlogging for years, man. Cycle Cruiser. Oh man. Yeah. He's pushing 500,000 subscribers. You're making 1,000 a month. All right. So not that much. That ain't much. 12,000 a year, especially for a North American dude, right? Oh man. Videos. What's he got? A day ago. Anyways, he's got some funny sayings that he does. He's Cleveland area. Yeah, I hope he's all right, man. His views are going down significantly though, right? Like those aren't good views for videos. But he's pumping it. 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago. I mean, he's got lots of videos going out. Yeah. So, anyways, man. But he's been riding he's been riding forever. And he's been like, here's a Supermoto, his custom Yamaha bike. I admittedly haven't watched him in a long time. Oops, I don't have my bad, guys. Sorry about that. I wasn't showing the screen. But yeah, here's Cycle Cruiser. Yeah, 1,000 a month. Yeah, he's got a couple sayings that are really real funny. You set yourself up to a messed up day. Let's go for a ride. I mean, he's been doing this forever, man. Where's his I mean, he's been vlogging, shoot, I don't even know, maybe 10, 15 years, man. Yeah, 2012. Yeah, good for him, man. Good for him. Hope he's doing all right. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, where are we at? Flew 33 hours from Canada. Yeah, currently in Butuan City. Yeah, good for you, man. Yeah, yeah. Heading to Boracay Island tomorrow. Hey, Chris, have you ever been to Boracay? I have been to Boracay. I was there during Holy Week, which, look, I think Boracay now, yeah, you're fine. You're outside of Holy Week. The thing that surprised me about Boracay was the algae that was in the water. I hit it during an algae bloom, which I don't know how common or how often that occurs, but definitely there's an algae bloom that can happen there. So just be mindful of that. But it's a little bit too touristy for me, but overall it's not bad. Hey, babe. Hey, babe. Can you shut the door? But yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. But it's not kind of my favorite place in the Philippines, but it's okay. Yep, everyone needs a dual sport. Yes. So true. So true. Dig a dual sport. Maybe even everyone needs a dual sport and a supermoto. You know, the thing about bikes and motorcycles is they're a lot, you know, they're a lot like shoes. You know, you just don't have one pair of shoes. You've got your running shoes, you've got your dress shoes, you've got your work shoes, you've got your church shoes, you've got your tennis shoes, you've got all these shoes. And I think motorcycles are a lot like shoes. You know, you need your different shoes depending on what you're doing, man. I would love a cruiser. I would love to get it. Odo says, yeah, I'm very happy. I'd love to get my cruiser. I'd love to get my dual sport. I'd love to get my supermoto. I'd love to get my hyper naked. I'd love to get my adventure bike. Yep. Yep. It's a lot like shoes. Danny says, my sister in America has a gardening channel with 10,000 subs, and she gets checked for 600. Yeah, that's about what I get to. Yeah, yeah. Not every month. Yeah, which isn't bad. I mean, whatever. It, like you said too, treat it as a hobby. Know kind of the things that can happen. Know the downsides of it. You know, especially in a foreign country, you put a little bit of a target on your back. Not, like I said, not so much with the locals, but with the other vloggers, the other foreigners, and things like that. You do, but then you can meet great people too. You know, it's not like, you know, it's all doom and gloom. It's not, but just go in with the right expectations with YouTube. Go in as a hobby. You know, can you make money? Maybe, but it's going to take you several years to build it. You know, another thing that I got from David is like, look, if you want to make money with YouTube, use it as a way to market your business. Use YouTube like Critter Hunter, right? Use, if you're not familiar with Critter Hunter, he's a guy down in Negros, right? Critter Hunter. You know, use it as a way to market your business. So this guy, you know, he uses it. Hey, look, he's making $100 a month on YouTube, but he uses this channel to market his resort, his dive stuff, all of his classes. You know, he's got a business around it. You know, David Bond, he used his channel to sell his dating courses, right? You know, that's how you make money with YouTube, real money. You know, you get people off the platform to sell something, right? Sell a book, you know, write a book. I think, yeah, what's the guys out of CDO, Rob and Chrissy? Yeah, I don't know what their channel is or whatever, right? But they do books, or the guy that built a house in Bohol, right? The Sane Nomads, or whatever hell their channel name is, something around that, right? The Down to Earth Nomads, or whatever, right? They do a book. You know, that's how you can do stuff, is write a book, do an online course. You know, those are, if you're really looking to make money with YouTube, that's how you kind of do that. Relying on views for YouTube, I think you make more money flipping burgers, you know, than that kind of deal. But yeah. Yeah, when I get there, I have a plan to make a unicorn dual sport out of my budget bike. Yeah, by modding it like crazy, and then hoping, yeah, we'll test it out and give me your honest thoughts. Yeah, man, let's do it. Let's do it. Good luck getting the parts though, brother. Maybe ship those parts with you. But yeah, dude, let's do it. Yeah. No worries, Dean. Oh, sleep good there, man. Yeah. Troy and Venus, it's like bikes are like golf clubs. Yeah, you do, man. You need a putter. You need your driver. You need your irons, man. All depends. It's the right tool for the job, man. It's the right tool for there ain't just one bike, man. You need multiple bikes in that garage. You need multiple bikes. You need your scooter. You need your tour, and you need your off-road bike, man. But the problem is you don't necessarily have, you don't have access to a lot of the bikes. You know, like Richard said, he's going to pick up a Cove. Dude, I couldn't pick up a Cove if I wanted to. That 450 Cove, that looks nice, man. That looks really nice. You know? Yeah. It'd be hard to get to a store at 15. Yeah. Well, guys, I don't know how long I've been doing this. What does it say here? How long? Oh, I'm 2 hours and 20 minutes. That's right about it. I like to go right around the 2 hour mark. I think I'm going to jump off. I'm going to get some breakfast. get some food in my stomach. So, but I really appreciate you guys watching, hanging out, being a part of the conversation. Thanks for the gentleman who gave me the super chat earlier. That's super cool. Appreciate that. I hope you got something out of it, the channel, and yeah, take a look for the content. I actually don't have next week's video shot, so I'm not sure. Mary Rose and I talked about doing a 2-year relationship video. Woo-hoo-hoo. You know, some drama content. I do want to reshoot a house video, but I want to wait till there's a couple projects that we're working on with the doors and things like that. So, but yeah, I don't know kind of what we'll shoot next. There's a couple video ideas that I have kind of cruising around and stuff. So yeah, we'll take a look, man. But really appreciate it. Happy Naiwayo and feed the good wolf, guys. Stay positive. Lots of chaos and crazy going on as usual. Find ways to kind of, you know, keep that good vibe going on inside you and for others. So with that said, we'll catch you guys. Take care, Matt.